All right, here we go. Tier list for the Toronto Regional Championships. This is not a format tier list. This is a tier list specifically for the expected, or what I expect the metagame to look like for the Toronto Regional Championship. So let's set some baselines here. Tier 1s and yeah, tier 1 decks. Honestly, it's tough. So Guardy's obviously tier 1. I'll put both builds of Guardy up there. I don't have that strong of an opinion. I'm sure the Guardy heads out there might think Guardy Jelly, but like it almost feels like it's all just kind of one blob at this point. It's like you look at the list that freaking Pedro played to win LAIC. He had Jelly, he had Drifloon, he had Bravely Charm. It's all just kind of like one. It's like the Guardy blob, and who knows what's going to be in it, but it's probably tier 1. So I don't really think of it in terms of like Guardy Jelly and non-Guardy Jelly personally, to be honest. It's just kind of all Guardy. So I mean, let's just do something like 10 and 5 or something. But yeah, 15% Guardy. We'll just put them both in tier 1, whether with Jelly or without Jelly is tier 1 or tier 2 or whatever, or they're both tier 1, who knows. Pretty good deck. I am actually a little bit hesitant to want to put Golden Go in tier 1, but I think it probably will be a tier 1 play. A lot of people are teching for it. There's gonna be a lot of Toad Scrolls. I mean, decks like there's like a thing where it's like let's just take like Absol box, for example. Absol box with Eerie isn't favored against Golden Go, but if there's enough people teching for Golden Go, like it chips away at your expected win percentage, right? It's like if all the Absol box players play Eerie when they normally wouldn't have, you're still favored against them, but it hurts your win percentage. It hurts your expected win percentage. Everyone who's like not guard for is teching for Golden Go in some way. And then even then, I guess you could argue that Guardy techs for Golden Go in some way too, if they're playing the Jelson build or not. But I mean, I think Golden Go's are going to be pretty heavy on the Lopunny builds, which means it's probably still a tier 1 play. Even if people are teching for Golden Go, if you got the Lopunnies in there, you kind of have the counter tech to the techs. So it's probably still a tier 1 play. I'm not going to order them in terms of which one I think. I think I'll order at the end of the tier list. I'll do the thing where I order them in terms of which one I would prefer to play at the tournament. But I don't know, 15, 20%. Let's go 17 maybe. It's probably going to be the most popular deck in the room. Probably won't hit 20 though. Maybe 18. Yeah, maybe 18. All right, so we set the baseline for the best decks. And I think these are the only decks in tier 1. There's a couple decks that I'll bring up here that I would maybe put in tier 1 with more testing, but my testing with them is limited, so I'm not going to put them in tier 1. So let's put something in tier 5, like Terror Box and Flareon. Where's Flareon? There we go, tier 5. Maybe one of these moves up to tier 4. Probably not, though. So yeah, put them in tier 5 for now. Yeah, they're both pretty mid right now. Bad Guardy matchup. Golden Go matchup is a lot closer than it used to be because of the one prize board state with Solrock and Lunatone. Even like the Lopunny in the Golden Go now makes things harder for like Terrabox and Flareon because you can't one-hit KO. I don't think they can. Can they one-hit KO a Lopunny? So now if the Golden Go has Lopunny, they can like KO your Fez and have a Lopunny in it. Like, yeah, so we'll put them down there in tier 5. I mean, they're going to be like, what, 2% and 2% metagame? Maybe 1 and 1. We'll just give them both 2s for now. And then also Watchtower. A big thing, I think, is there's going to be... the Watchtower is going to be the most popular it's ever been at this tournament. It's possible it could scale up from then into the next tournament. But, yeah, these two decks, no one's playing Watchtower for Flareon or Terrabox. Nobody cares. Nobody's playing Watchtower for either of those decks. But they do get collateraled by the good decks getting Watchtower teched against them. So it's another unfortunate hit for the Terra decks here. All right, let's talk about everyone's one of or a lot of people's favorite deck, the Dragapult Dusknoir. I think it's probably tier 3. I honestly might see myself putting in tier 4. I think you're unfavored against Guardy if they're playing a build that's prepped for Pulse, which I think we're in a little bit of a between state where people are still playing like the greedier, I don't want to call it greedier, the Henry Chow LAIC style of Guardy, I think was unfavored against Pult. There's still some people playing that build, but I feel like we've gravitated more back towards kind of what Pedro Petrucci played at LAIC, more Arvins, more Evos. So Guardy, I would say probably overall at the tournament's going to be favored against Dragapult. Golden Go is favored against Dragapult. If you are going to play Dragapult at the tournament, you probably should be playing like a Moltres or a Toad Scroll line or something. Give yourself a little bit better of a time against Golden Go for sure. You definitely want to give yourself a little bit better of a time against Golden Go. Just put something in there. I don't know the best inclusion, but something is better than nothing for sure. So tech for Golden Go in some way, but I'm gonna put Dragon Ball down here in tier 3. It'll still probably be pretty popular, like 12% of the metagame or something like that. But yeah, when you have like an unfavored matchup against the top 2 decks, it's not great, to be honest. It's not very good. Up next, Tank Kangaskhan, probably tier 4. I would have rated this a lot higher, and honestly, I wish when I started playing this deck, and really working on the deck, I wish there was like a major tournament around that time, because I would have definitely played it at a tournament. But now that everyone's playing Lopunny in Golden Go, you have no way to beat Golden Go, and people are just randomly playing Watchtowers in a bunch of different bullshit. So Tank Kangaskhan is pretty bad play right now. It's not very good. Probably talking like I haven't played Sensei lately. Are people actually trying Moltres and Polt? I've been trying it a little bit myself. I haven't had sufficient practice up against Golden Go, but you need something. Like you need something. Like if they put Genesect in play early and then knock out your Purdue and you go Moltres, Countercatcher, KO the Genesect, I don't know, that's pretty cool. Or even just punch a Golden Go early game when you have like a full 1 prize board. That could also be pretty cool. It just feels like you definitely need to do something. Third jamming tower, sure. Third jamming tower, just do something. Put something in there so you can actually give yourself a better time against Golden Go. I don't know the best thing, but even that is something. That's a step in the right direction. Tank Kangaskhan. Honestly, maybe do I want to put Tank Kangaskhan? No, I'm not gonna put Tank Kangaskhan that low, because I actually do think Tank Kangaskhan, against every build of Guardy I've played up against so far, I think you are favored against Guardy. Or at least 50-50 if you have the Shaman. And I would play the Shaman in there. But, like, I don't know, 4%, 3%, 2% metagame. Not a great play right now, but... Alright, let's talk Charizards. Charizard, Pidgeysard. I actually think Pidgeysard is probably going to be a little bit better of a play for this tournament. And I'm inclined to want to put Pidgeysard in tier 1. I think Terrazard's Golden Go matchup is like really close unless you put an extra tech card in there, but you could do that. You can play like a Chi. You just need like something. You just need like a little something, I feel like, for the Golden Go matchup on top of what was already played. Do you think teching Eerie and Zard is good? No. So I almost want to do this, like Terrazard tier 2, Pidgeysard tier 1. I feel like Pidgeysard is lining up pretty well going into Toronto, to be honest. You're a lot better off against the Watchtower builds. Or Watchtower in general, which people are just randomly playing Watchtower and everything. But maybe it should look something like this, to be honest. Charizard tier 3, Pidgeysard tier 2 is how I'm feeling. But I'm feeling like Pidgeysard is actually like a better play going into the tournament for sure. Yeah. Are you taking no Dusk or with Dusk for Pidgeysard? No Dusk. No Dusk. If we're playing Dusknoir, we're definitely playing Terrazard. So I think it would look something like this, to be honest. I don't have a ton of confidence in Charizard right now because of all the random Watchtowers. It's really hard for this deck to deal with the random Watchtowers. Maybe I'm overhyping the random Watchtowers though. Like maybe it's not going to be that popular. If the Watchtower doesn't end up being that popular, I think it's probably tier 2 up here. If the Watchtowers end up being pretty popular and successful, then it would be down here. So I guess it kind of depends on, like, my current read would lead me to believe there's going to be a decent amount of like random Watchtowers out there. So I want to put it down here. So if it's looking like that, I don't know. We can both like 6%. I don't know how it's actually going to line. Actually, it's probably going to be more like this. It's going to probably be more like 9-3 or something like that, actually. I might be overhyping the random Watchtowers a little bit, I guess. That is possible. Maybe I'm overhyping that a bit. Yeah, I'll go like 3-9. I like the idea of this build a little bit more, but it could be like this as well. Something like that. Enzoric. I actually really like the idea of Enzoric right now. I think you probably have to play Toadscroll for the Golden Go matchup. If the Lopunny is too much to deal with on the Golden Go side of things, like them picking off your Fez and your Toadscroll, then Enzoric is probably a pretty terrible play. But with my limited testing of the matchup pre-Lopunny, if you had Toadscroll in there, the matchup actually felt like pretty good, to be honest. So I'm going to go ahead and say Enzoric is probably somewhere around here. Got a good Guardy matchup. You're good against Charizard as well with double Watchtower. Your Poltnor matchup has always been like slightly favored to like 50-50. If you're playing the Psyduck, you're actually probably just favored. You got the Psyduck, you're favored. Up against Guardy. Yeah, if you have Psyduck and TM Evos, like you should just be favored. Up against Guardy, you're favored. I think you're favored if you play a heavy enough boss count. You need a heavy boss count so you can boss around the Diancie. If people are playing Diancie, 'cause I've been seeing a lot less Diancie in Guardies on ladder, I feel like, recently. So there is that. Yeah, I'd say Zork. As long as you can actually beat Golden Go Lopunny, which is the one thing I'm untested. But assuming you can, assuming that is still like close to 50-50, then I would put Enzork here in tier 2. It'll probably be, I don't know, 4% of the meta or something like that. Also, yeah, you could play the cape. You can play the hero's cape, and that's pretty good because the Diancie can't one-hit KO you. But if you just boss their Monkey Dories over and over and over again, you win because Guardy plays like 1 to 2 counter catcher, and you could play like 3 boss and a pal pad. So you just gust their Monkey Dory over and over and over again. And then if they never set up double Monkey Dory, they can't Diancie one-hit KO your Zoroark, and then you just win. So I don't think the Diancie makes the matchup terrible between having enough gust. Honestly, having enough gust and maybe playing cape, to be honest. Like 3 boss plus pal pad or something like that. So yeah, Enzork here. I could see Enzork actually being a tier 1 play, but with the untested Golden Go matchup, yeah, put it here in tier 2. Grimmsnarl. Let's see. Grimmsnarl is fine against Guardy, unfavored against Golden Go. Enzork, favored against Enzork, favored against Charizard, favored against Charizard Noctowl. 50-50 to slightly favored against Dragapult. Oh, I guess you have the Duck now. You're probably just favored against Dragapult. So Grimmsnarl's really only coming up against Golden Go, short against Golden Go, but it is a terrible matchup. Honestly, is Grim just kind of tier 3? Guardy is like fine, depending how many boss you play. Zoroark, favorable. Charizard, favorable. Charizard, favorable. Dragapult, 50-50. Oh, you're just favored now with Psyduck. If you got Psyduck, you're favored. Golden Go, bad matchup. Really bad. I'll put it tier 3, to be honest. I can't really argue myself to a lower tier, to be honest. It just kind of seems fine. It's just kind of mid. 5? Maybe? 4, 5? I feel like people like Grim a decent amount. 4? It's like not that popular, right? All right, Mega Absol box. Unfavored against Guardy. Unfavored against Golden Go. Enzork. I think you're favored against Enzork. Terrazard is tough. Charizard Pidgeot is close. They don't have Dusknoir, you're close. I think it's just like another tier 3 deck here for Mega Absol. No, maybe Absol's down. No, it's probably just another... Mega Absol is just like another tier 3 deck, I think. I think Absol's unfavored against Terrazard. Yeah, unfavored against Terrazard. I think favored against Charizard Pidgeot, though. I think. Because they just don't have that enough Gust or enough Burst to get through your Monkey Dories. So you just out Monkey Dory them every single time. And yeah, I think you should be able to come out on top for sure in that one. Favored against Zoroark, but yeah, Golden Go match, you're unfavored against Guardy. And the Golden Go matchup is... It's unfavored. Now that they have Lopunny, there's nothing you can play except Toedscruel. Toedscruel is like the only thing you could play. It's like the last thing. We've gone through like every iteration of Mega Absol box up to this point. And now we're at the point where it's like, you can play Toedscruel, or like you can play something similar to the list I posted on YouTube recently with like 2 Eries and double Yveltal, and you just try and be annoying and hope that's enough to beat Golden Go, which you can probably get pretty close, but how's Absol unfavored against Guardy? They just have prize trade you. They 2-hit KO your first Absol, and then you have nothing left, and they win. That's how it usually goes. It's even worse if they play more aggressive builds. Like, the more aggressive the Guardy build is, the worse the matchup is. The slower the Guardy build is, the better it is for Mega Absol, but it seems like Guardy builds are trending to more aggressive builds, which is that much worse for Mega Absol. I think no matter what the build of Guardy is, it's always unfavorable. Maybe at the worst, it's 50-50, but the more aggressive the Guardies get, the worse it gets. For sure. Actually got second at City League with 2-1 Toes. 2 Lively, 1 Watchtower. Yeah, the Toes is like the last stand for the Mega Absol box. And even then, I don't even know how good if the Toes are good enough, to be honest. I'm not even sure if it's good enough. All right. And you can terminal you back. Oh yeah, if you don't find your Mist Energy, they just literally can terminal you. Lopunny Dusknoir. I think there'll be a decent amount of Psyduck being played at the tournament, which is not great for the deck. Lopunny Dusknoir is fine into Gardevoir. It's really bad against... It's bad against Golden Go. I don't say really bad. It's bad against Golden Go. And Zoroark, I'm honestly not sure how that matchup would play out. I'd probably give the edge to Well, no, if they have Duck, it's probably tough. Comes down to the Duck. Charizard matchups are fine. Mega Absol box. They got the Duck. It kind of depends on just who goes second in that one. Dragapult is all... That one just depends on... No, that one's like fine as well. Going second's a big deal. Well, no, it's less of a big deal for you. It's more of a big deal for them, to be honest, to go second. Yeah, I don't know. It's like here in tier 4 or tier 3. I probably put it in... It's probably tier 4. The deck doesn't feel like that powerful, and then the Golden Go matchup feels bad. So, I'm going to put it down here in tier 3. Oh, what was I going to give Absol box for percentage? 1%? 2%? Not 23. Probably like 4 or 5, right? It'll probably be decently popular. Mega Lopunny Dusknoir, 3%. Yeah, tier 4. No Raging Bolt? Nah. All right, the final deck. I'm going to put Greninja on the tier list. I've been playing with it recently. The deck is pretty sick for sure. And I'm going to go ahead and say that Greninja is a tier 2 play for this tournament. The deck is super sick, super powerful. I mean, you're bopping a lot of the decks on this tier list, to be honest. You're bopping a lot of things here. Bopping Charizards. Bopping Dragapult. Probably keep it with Zoroark. I think the Golden Go matchup is fine. The Guardy matchup is the bad matchup. All right, maybe it's tier 3. Maybe it's tier 3. The Guardy matchup is bad. Golden Go matchup is fine. I'll put Greninja in tier 3. I still really like the deck. Well, I guess I can't go tier 2 with it, but it's definitely better than the other decks down here. It's just like neutrally. It's more powerful, and it's not like that bad. I don't think the Guardy matchup is horrendous, which is the biggest thing. I don't think the Guardy matchup is like that bad. Especially, the Guardy matchup especially isn't that bad if they're not playing item lock style builds. Like if they're not playing Frillish. If people are going more TM Evo route, that's better for you, because then when they choose second and they if they don't item lock you, then you can more easily get into turn 2 Greninja and snipe off their Curlias. Or if you go second, you item lock them, and then you definitely snipe off their Curlias on turn 2, or theoretically. And 1% of the metagame, I guess, right? 1%. All right, let's review it from the bottom up. Terra decks in tier 5, but I'm gonna as I go through it, I'm gonna rank them as the deck I would prefer to play. If I had to play a deck from tier 5, it'd be Flareon first, then Terra Box. If I had to play a deck from tier 4, Tank Kangaskhan, then Lopunny Dusknoir. If I had to play a deck from tier 3, definitely Greninja, then Mega Absol Box. Yikes, it gets pretty grim from there. No pun intended. Honestly, I would maybe play Poltnor. Gosh. No, I'd play Terrazard, because it's got the best Golden Go matchup. Then Terrazard, then Poltnor, then Grimmsnarl. Tier 2, honestly, this one's a tie for me. I wouldn't mind playing Pidgeot, Zard, or Zoroark, but I'd probably go Zoroark, then Pidgeozard. And then tier 1, Golden Go, non-Jelly Guardy, Jelly Guardy. Tier 3 for Poltnor, sheesh. I mean, it just has the same struggles as the other decks down here, though. You struggle against one or both of the top decks, but you're still a good deck. Like, you're still a very powerful deck. And the matchups aren't, like, terrible against the top either. Like, I think Mega Absol Box is unfavored against Gardevoir and Golden. Golden Go's pretty tough. You're unfavored against Gardevoir, but it's not by a ridiculous degree. It's like a fine amount. You appreciate the 5 gifted there, Fabric. Welcome on to the Rat Pack. All right, that's going to do it for my tier list. For Toronto metagame tier list. Yep. Is Grim staying in tier 3? What matchup is actually really good for it? What's really good for it? The Charizard matchups, the Zoroark matchup. Maybe it should be. It's bad against Mega Absol Box as well, actually. Maybe Grim should be down one more. Let me run through it again. Unfavored against Golden Go. Guardy's fine. Favored against Zoroark. Favored against Charizard. Favored against Charizard. Greninja beats you. I mean, Greninja's not really a deck to worry about, though. Poltnor is, like, fine. Mega Absol Box is bad. Honestly, maybe it is a tier 4 deck. No, I think it's still... no, it probably is a tier 4, actually. I think you're right. I think it is tier 4 here. No, stop the hate on Grim. Nah, it's got to go drop another one. I played Grim before. No, I definitely played Lopunny Dusknoir before I played Grim.